welcome back. We're here with Brent from Metropolis Popcorn. Brent, thank you for coming on the podcast today. I'm very excited to have you.
Thanks for having me, Easton. It's great to be here.
Yes, I'm excited to dive into not only just your like personal story, but your business journey. So we'll get right into it. What is one thing you actually or you just really love about running your popcorn business?
I've been doing this since 2012, and just when you think you've seen it all, you something happens, or you meet a new person or something. Like, for instance, you reached out kind of out of the blue a few weeks
Yeah,
ago, and here's a relationship that didn't even predict going into 2026. So things like that, just all the surprises along the way, the people we meet. We have a big map in our store of the United States, and we let people put pins in the
love
map
it.
telling us where they're from. And we've had people from every single state, about 100 different countries
Wow.
over the years that have put pins in the map. It's really fascinating, the people that you connect with and the folks that you meet when you're dealing with the public.
Yeah, and as a seasoned business owner, how do you still cultivate like this mindset of growing and succeeding, but still being open to new like opportunities? Like, how does that kind of perspective work for you?
You can never assume that you know everything. I developed over the last couple of years this mindset of, the second you think you're the smartest person in the room, you become the dumbest person in the
Yeah,
room, because when you think you're the smartest one, then you're kind of closed off to new ideas, and you never stop learning. The world is always changing around you, so just by default, you have to change your approach to selling and to developing products and things like that, um, to kind of go with the changes that are greater than your business. Um, case in point, in 2020, when the pandemic hit, 6 years ago, next month. That's kind of hard to believe. It's been six
yeah,
years, but obviously our world changed when that happened. We were closed for 6 weeks as our brick and mortar store. Thankfully, we were already set up for e-commerce, and we just really hammered at that, and made it through that uncertain time period with some of our best numbers ever. So
wow.
it again, just you can't be too set in your ways, and you can't resist change, because change is going to happen whether you resist it or not.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I also love how you mentioned that you're very customer focused and like all about like creating this very unique customer experience. One way being that you mentioned that they get the pin where they're from, which I think like is not only like awesome for the customer, but like awesome for you guys as well. Can you kind of talk about your approach when it comes to creating that like wow factor for your customers?
Yeah, you can have a great product, but that's maybe that much of the equation. You have to offer something that somebody else isn't offering to set you apart. Um, we're you know I, this may ruffle some feathers, but I'll never tell people to shop with us just because we're a local business.
Really?
That only goes so far, because you still have to offer something. You'll get some people that will shop with you because you're a local business, because they want to support local, but the vast majority of people are going to go with what's convenient, what's going to offer the best experience, and maybe third or fourth on their list, what is the best product. You don't get necessarily the best products at Walmart or Amazon,
Yeah.
but it's convenient. A lot of cases, it's inexpensive, um, not necessarily a great experience. So, what can we do to kind of create an experience in our store that makes people want to come in and shop with us, when they could just sit on their phone and press four buttons and get popcorn delivered to them next day from one of the big boys. We do deliver, we ship all across the United States, and we've got a pretty user friendly website. Um, but we still need to get people through the door. And to do that, you have to offer an experience. So walk-in customers can come in, they can try free samples. That's a big thing that you can't. We can send a little sample pack with our shipments, but to come in and actually try the popcorn before you buy it, that's a cool experience
Yeah.
that you can't do at a lot of places. Um, you get the smell of the popcorn when you come in. I mean, everybody loves the smell of popcorn. And when
Yeah.
you come in and you know it's being made fresh right in our kitchen before it comes out onto the popcorn wall, that is part of that sensory experience when you come in. And the popcorn wall that I mentioned, that's part of the experience itself because we've got this huge display of 50 different flavors of popcorn behind the counter that first time customers are just completely wowed by when they come in. Um, in fact, it can be a little overwhelming for some people, but it's part of the experience of coming into our shop is that huge variety, the smells, the samples, and then the people that we have there that I feel are very good with customers in terms of the level of service that we provide.
Yeah. And just like on that point of like scaling and creating that experience, when you first bought the business, you only had like three part-time employees. You then scaled to like 20, probably 25 plus employees now. What kind of was that transition like, and how did you still keep that customer focus, that value driven mindset, like as you guys scaled your business?
It hasn't always been easy. Sometimes, I've felt as if the more I've stepped into whatever the CEO mode or whatever you want to call it, where I'm not as ingrained in the business, we've lost a little bit of that. So keeping at least one foot in the day to day operations, trying to have a presence there. I'm not at the shop that much. About an hour a day typically is what I'm there. But when we hire people, we stress that nobody really needs popcorn itself. Like that's not really what we're selling. It is, and it's delicious. But what we're really selling is a gift for a birthday, or we're selling favors for a wedding reception. We're selling our our fundraising program so that the little league team across town can raise money for new uniforms. That's really what we're selling, and the popcorn itself is important, but what we're really selling are those services, and part of that goes back to that experience that we talked about earlier, and that starts with the employees behind the counter, and they have to realize that the expectation is that everybody needs to leave happy.
Yeah.
That's
And
part of the
yeah,
skill.
yeah, I mean, I think that as you probably know, just in general, finding employees to work in general is hard. So, finding employees that want to work and also care about your business and match your values and like kind of encompass just your entire business ethos is, I feel like a very difficult thing to actually cultivate, especially like over like a long time horizon as well.
Hmm. Yeah, and we have a mix of. Uh, am I allowed to say older? I don't,
Yeah.
uh, adults, I guess I'll say, and a mix of college and high school students that work for me. And because of that, with the younger workers, there's a lot more turnover because sometimes it's for a good reason. They graduate and they go off to college, and maybe they come back and work over Christmas for me, or maybe they don't. So we have a fair amount of turnover with the younger workers, so that's always a challenge. But it also creates new opportunities to continue to mold those younger workers into the type of great uh, customer service employees that we need to have in the store. So it's kind of blessing and a curse that we have a little bit of annual turnover with a lot of our workers.
No, for sure. And why is sourcing 100% of your corn from Ohio farmers for your corn so important for you guys?
It's really important to me personally because I grew up on a farm. I'm from Carroll County, which is like southeastern Ohio, kind of Appalachia area, like south of Canton. And we grew up on, we had a dairy farm, and my parents still live on the farm, even though it's not actively used. They don't actively use it, they lease it out. But I know what a hard way of life that is, hard work that is for folks, and to have an opportunity to buy our corn from Ohio farmers and help support agriculture in Ohio is very important to me on a personal level. Agriculture is still Ohio's number one industry, and we're a very small part of that, obviously, with our purchasing. But I'm happy to contribute to that industry.
And does that change how the popcorn tastes with you getting it local versus getting it, maybe in bulk or, like overseas?
Makes it taste way better.
Yeah.
I, I'm sure, I think anytime you can buy something locally and the cliche term is farm to table, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to say ours is farm to table, but it's coming from a couple hours away versus across the country. So, um, keeping that food close to home that we serve, I think does make a difference. It's like, if you buy produce at a farmer's market versus buying it at a superstore, when that
Yeah.
food is locally sourced, it's likely to have fewer preservatives and things like that you need to keep it fresh when you're taking it cross country or internationally even, versus the farmer that's a couple of towns away bringing their food to a farmer's market. Just is fresher, and I think the quality's better. Can I prove it? Not really,
Yeah.
but I just, again, it's more of a personal thing for me. Growing up on a farm in Ohio, I just, it's really important to me to continue to support agriculture in this state.
Yeah. And what is one aspect of yourself you love, but you very rarely get to express?
Aspect of myself?
Yes.
Oh gosh. Um, I don't know. I'm um, I don't know. I guess in some ways I am a little bit of a softie, and especially when it comes to my kids and my family. Um, you can't really be that way at work, but at the same time, I would do just about anything, to help my workers out when they're in the school play or sports or whatever, and they ask for a donation for their awards banquet or something like that. It's hard for me to say no. It's I try to support them because they're working hard. They're going to school all day, coming in, working 4 hours in the evening, and then going home doing homework. They're working hard, probably harder than me. And so, I try to support them back.
And it seems like family is a very big driver for you. Like with you growing up on a farm and kind of seeing like your parents in that environment, and then obviously with your own family, and then like how you kind of treat like your workers as your own family as well. Um, why is family such a big aspect for you?
I think just in general, the older you get, the more you realize how important relationships in general are. And that starts with your family. And I've got two daughters. This June, I'll have been married 25 years to my wife. It's hard to imagine my life being any other way. And especially my oldest daughter moved out to college in the fall, and we're really happy for her. And at the same time, we miss her a lot, and that puts a different spin on how you um, how you think about your family, because 18 years goes really fast with your kid at home. And I've got a younger daughter that's a freshman in high school, and so she's 4 more years and she may be moving off to college too. So it just makes you appreciate the time and the relationships you have. whether it's your family, your friends, your employees, co-workers. There's not a whole lot that you do 100% on your own. It all depends on your relationships with other folks.
25 years is crazy. That's a long time. Well, congrats on that. That's
I
amazing.
don't know how that happened. Like, I feel like I just graduated college a few years ago. But yeah, 25 years.
What's the secret?
Um, Communicating, honesty, um, sense of humor is big because, like Jimmy Buffett said, if we couldn't laugh, we'd all go insane. And
Yeah,
sometimes you just have to laugh at what life throws at you.
absolutely. Well, Brent, I have one more question for you.
Sure.
If you could have dinner with two people, one person from the past
Boy.
and one person from the present, who would it be and why?
All right. From the past, I'm a history guy. So I will say George Washington.
Okay.
Um, I'd love to know. I think what we read in the history books is about 50% true and 50% best guess. So I'd love to know like what happened at some of these events at the beginning of the American experiment with the Revolution and the Declaration of Independence and some of the first presidency of the country. I would love to know firsthand what went down. Present, I had a couple of idols, I guess, growing up. Growing up on a farm and being a basketball fan, I always idolized Larry Bird. So I'd love to sit down and have a beer with Larry and just talk about his upbringing and just learn from him because he overcame a lot as a kid to get to where he is.
Well, Brent, that's all the questions I have for you. How can people find you guys, and what is one thing you want to leave people with?
I'll leave people with this. We've got over 50 different flavors of popcorn, something for all tastes, whether you like cheddar, chocolate, caramel, or something else in between. You can find us at our retail stores in Cuyahoga Falls and Hudson, Ohio. You can find us out and about in the popcorn truck over the April through November timeline. And you can find us online at metropolisohio.com, and we can ship anywhere in the country.
Do you have any new flavors that you're teasing? Anything like that coming out?
We always come out with 4 or 5 new flavors every single month. So
Okay.
this month we've got some Valentine's themed flavors like chocolate covered cherry, chocolate covered strawberry, and hot cinnamon. And then soon we'll be coming out with some March flavors like our Lucky Charms flavor. There's always something new to either pop in and try or hop on the website and have shipped out to you.
I love it. Well, Brent, thank you for coming on the podcast. It was a pleasure. I just love learning about not only your business, but some of your personal side of things. So thank you so much. And I appreciate you.
Thanks, Easton. Appreciate you.